Hello, my name is Christian Balk, and today I'm conducting a workshop on how to do spot checks in Skyview. Now, for those of you who don't know what Skyview is a software that's used by leagues like the MLB to run their broadcasts, enter their broadcast commercial spots, and put together their broadcast logs. Likewise, Learfield also uses this software, and it has exponentially grown in popularity through the recent years. For those of you who don't know what a spot check is, a spot check is what you conduct whenever you want to make sure that all of your commercial spots are in for a particular broadcast. To do that, first you want to go to the Citrix website where you will find your Citrix receiver. Now you'll sign in using your email and a password that you've set up with Learfield or whatever company you may be doing spot checks for. And once you've signed in, you'll double click the icon, which will take you to a new window, and it'll bring up basically a new desktop. And once you've done that, you will click on the icon on the left hand side that looks like a notepad that has been torn. Now once you do that, it's going to bring up a pop-up which it'll give you some general information that really doesn't necessarily matter to you. So you will just click OK, and it'll bring up a new window where you will sign in using a different set of credentials. Now these credentials will be provided by your manager and will be separate from the credentials you used previously. So now you should be in Skyview. But before we move any further with working with Skyview, we need to access the broadcast calendar so you know what events you need to be checking. So first you need to go to learfieldsharepoint.com, and you will sign in with your email credentials just like you did for the Citrix receiver. Next, you will come to the main page, and you will hover your mouse over the sports tab, which will bring up a bunch of options. Your first option will be broadcast calendar. Now you will click on broadcast calendar, which will bring you to another sign-in window. Now this sign-in window, just like with Skyview, will have another password and login that you will have to use. And this is usually provided department-wide, so your whole department should be using the same password, so you'll just be sure to get that from your manager. Now once you've signed in, it'll first take you to the Master Sports calendar, which is extremely broad. It has everything in the company that's going on. We don't necessarily want that. So first, you're going to go to View, then List Events by Calendar. Now this will give you the events, obviously, by calendar date. Next, just below that, you'll click the dates entered. So say today is your last day and your first day was on Monday. So you enter the date in that range and then click Go, and it will bring you to those dates. Now, like I said, we're not going to want the Master Sports calendar. You can either do it by event type, which would be like JC broadcast, so the broadcast that comes out of Jeff City, versus sound package that comes from the affiliate. Or you can do it by producer. For this particular case, we're going to do it by producer because that's how I do it, and I find it easier to keep track of whose school or what school goes to which producer. So for an example, the broadcast calendar will look like this. Now once you get into Skyview, you're going to want to know how to navigate once you're in there. So first, you're on the main screen and you see all these buttons, and they can be a little overwhelming. But first, you need to go down to the blue button. It'll say spot check, which obviously is what we're looking for. You'll click on that button and you will see all the sports we carry. Now this ranges from football to baseball to softball to the MLB teams that we do work for, such as the Twins. Now this, you want to sort it by sport. So for example, we are in the baseball season, and we'll use Missouri State as an example. So you'll click the baseball tab. It'll bring up all the schools that carry baseball, and then you'll click Missouri State Baseball. Now this will bring up a new window, and it'll conduct a spot check. Usually it takes 10-15 seconds for the spot check to run. And then once the spot check is ran, you will click on the little tiny button just below the colorful spot check button that says Missing Sort by Sport. Now once you do that, it'll bring up your spot check. From there, you'll take your spot check and copy it and paste it wherever you need it to go, whether that's an email or a document that you'll be printing for yourself. Whichever one, you're going to want to copy and paste it. And this is sort of what it's going to look like here. So at the top here, we have the spots that have nothing missing, and then below that, we have each producer and their missing spots. So right here, you can see that there's one spot missing. Now sometimes spot checks can be very long and intensive, or they can be very short. But now that you know how to log into Skyview, access the broadcast calendar, and conduct a proper spot check, you can see how useful of a software Skyview is. However, please be aware whenever you are in there that you do not change any settings or make mistakes that cannot be undone, and you always want to use it responsibly to make sure that you're navigating correctly and not making these sort of mistakes. Thank you.